Hi everyone, I'm doing my September wrap up today. Sorry I haven't been around a lot. I've been not busy, but kind of just doing other things, my life going in other directions. So I start prac next month, which I'm really excited about, and I probably won't be booktubing as much as I used to be, but I'll still try and pop in every now and again because I especially like doing my wrap-ups and my hauls. But if you ever want to keep up to date with me, I'm always book reviewing, so you'll find my book blog link down below, and I'm on there all the time, and I've also got a life blog, so if you want to keep up with me, or otherwise just follow me on Instagram or Pinterest or something like that. But yes, I'm going to do my wrap up now. I read, I think, like 9 books. I only read one new novel, so one book I'd never read before. The rest were all like health kind of related books, I guess you could say, and then I read 2 Harry Potter books. So I'm just going to start. The first thing I read was Experience You're Good Now by Louise L. Hay, and this is just a little book of affirmations and how to do affirmations, and pretty much, yeah, like a how-to affirmation, how to affirm book. It also came with the CD, which is really, really lovely, and I listen to it in my car all the time. I gave it an 8, and I was sent that by Hay House Australia. The next thing I read was You Can Heal Your Life by Louise L. Hay. I read a different edition of this, but I borrowed it from the library, and then I didn't have to, but I did. Went and bought my own copy, and so yes, as you can see, I'm reading it again, and I gave this a 10. It's one of the most life-changing books I've ever read, and it's really hard to explain, but yeah, like I'm on a path of spiritual and personal growth. What are you doing, puppy? And this definitely helped me on it. Next thing I read was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I read it pretty slowly actually, but I finally read it and I really loved it. It was a 10. Obviously it's probably the 10th or so time I've read it, honestly, probably more. Next thing I read was Cosmic Love by Yasmin Boland. I was sent this to review by Hay House Australia, and it's kind of like how to attract positive relationships into your life, and I really enjoyed it. It was quite a fun and light read, with lots of ideas, and it's not too in your face, kind of like some spirituality books. They kind of like do this, and they're a little bit spooky, I guess you could say. It was very not so, like it had ideas for practical things, and you know, if you weren't this way inclined, you could try this or that. I gave it a 7. The next thing I read was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is probably my favourite Harry Potter book. Tied probably with 7, but this probably takes the cake. But yeah, this is my favourite, so I really loved it. It was 10, obviously. And I'm actually like, I finished it maybe a week or so ago, and I'm like, no more Harry Potter until next month. So yeah. The next thing I read was My Family Table by Eleanor Ozich, and this is a cookbook, and I was sent this by Murdoch Books, and this is probably my favourite cookbook of all time. I started cooking so much lately, especially since like I've quit sugar and reduced refined carbohydrates and that kind of stuff, and just eating really well and learning how to make delicious foods. And this is just great because the recipes are so easy to follow, and they're so easy to manipulate and also like tweak, because I'm not very good at following a recipe to the T, so this is good for that. I made that the other day. It was cauliflower couscous. It's so good. And last night for dinner I made cauliflower nuggets, and I've just been cooking so much delicious, nutritious food. I gave this a 9, which is pretty good for a cookbook. But yeah. I also read Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin. This was my new fiction read. I won this in a giveaway from the Literary Gladiators, and like it was a voucher for Book Depository, and I chose this because I've been wanting to read it for ages, and it's such an amazing concept. It's about like when you die, you go to this place called Elsewhere and you age backwards, and I just thought that was such a like awesome concept. It's so unique. And so it follows this 15-year-old girl, Liz, and she gets hit by a car, and so she, you know, she's up here, and she's living with her grandmother who died of cancer before like Liz was born. And it was just really, really unique and sweet, and just something else to think about, you know. I gave it a 7. I think it was a really nice read. The next thing I read was the Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. I was sent this by Hay House Australia, and this is probably one of the most powerful books I've ever read. Well, I didn't call her, my friend called me, but I was gonna call her. But anyway, I'm like, you need to read this book. It is so amazing. So this lady, Bronnie, she's Australian, and she, not palliative care, she would work in the homes of people who were dying. And just like the things that they would share with her, and you know, like she's such a beautiful person who just really connects with people and does so much for them. And so just the things they shared with her, you get so much you just get such a great look into what people are really thinking, you know, in their final moments and their final weeks, and you know, how they wish they had done things differently. So it's a lot of growth, because you kind of like, you don't want to make the same mistakes, you know, you really want to live a life true to yourself, and that's what I want to do. I'm, you know, really embracing my own life and living the life I want to live, and it's just amazing. So it also goes through her memoir, and she talks about like things that she's done, and she's a bit of a nomad, which I love. And it's just such an amazing book. I have it sitting on my dad's bedside table because I'm like, you need to read. I just want him to read a chapter, but it's an amazing book. I could not recommend it more. Like, it's just, I gave it a 10, in case you're wondering. Also, I did a short Q&A with the author, so you can find that on my website. And then the last thing I read was I Quit Sugar by Sarah Wilson. I was sent this by Pam McMillan. Yeah! And I really love it. Because, you know, I quit sugar. I think I mentioned that like 10 times in the last month or something. And by the way, I feel amazing. Like, quitting sugar has been the best thing I've ever done. And people are like, oh my god, you quit sugar? That must, like, you know, that must have been really hard. How'd you do it? I'm like, it actually wasn't hard. Well, it was easier than I thought, okay? And once you get past that like 2-3 week barrier, it's like cruising. It's cruising. Somebody just came up the driveway, and they're gonna see me talking to myself. Who is it? Oh my gosh, it's my mother! She's been at the family reunion. Dad and I went yesterday, but we came back today. Okay, anyway, that's all I pretty much have to say. Like I said, check me out on my book blog, and just chat to me in the comments. I'm always checking, so if you ever had any questions or just want to talk, because I love talking, just shoot me a message or a comment to tell me what you read, what was your favourite thing. Just want to say thanks to all my new subscribers and all my amazing friends who are stuck with me, and I love you all, and bye.